this is Lamar's opportunity to, just shut the world up, right? This Ravens defense is going to be the biggest test of Patrick Mahomes' career. You good to go?
Yeah.
All right, good to go here. Did a little pop of the arm.
To quote the great Willie Nelson, we are on the road again with Nate Burleson. Is this airport in Oklahoma?
This is airport Nate. Right now, we are in OKC. I'm just traveling, man. CBS Mornings, they said, Nate, we got a story for you. And, I was ready to hop on the plane. So it's one of those things, man. You catch me at home, you catch me in the car, you catch me on the road. Yeah. Either way, we're going to get this done each week.
So long as I don't catch you outside, to quote a 15-year-old meme or something.
How about that? How about that?
How about that? Then there were four. And before we get to the Chiefs and the Ravens and the Lions and the Niners, there aren't a lot of times in life when both your sons end up committing to play football at the university you and your wife went to, my dude. We try and just be real on this and just talk like two human beings. Father to father, that must be cool as bleep.
Yeah, it really is, man. As someone who has kind of followed the journey of the Burleson family, because we've been doing this for years now.
Yeah.
As a father, I truly do appreciate you saying that. It's beautiful, man. You put money away for your kids to go to college so they can get a good education. Now, I've always told them, look, I want you to go to school regardless. If you're blessed enough that someone sees your athletic talent and they offer you a scholarship, it's just icing on the cake. So I really do appreciate all of the love and all of the congrats, because I try to show my family to the world, to the viewers, just to people who watch me and follow me as much as I can, because, there is no Nate Burleson without my crew. So to have my two sons there, Nate, who's going to play receiver, Nehemiah, who's going to play the edge on defense. My wife ran track there, hurdle champion. I played ball there. Our two little brothers, her little brother, Joey Shaw, played basketball along with my little brother, Lindale Burleson. So the legacy runs deep, and we're going to continue it. You know what I'm saying? So when little Micallef is ready, you know what I mean? I got to holler at the coach, man.
Yeah, we might need someone to talk to the coach.
Yeah, we got the light skinned cousin up across the border. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna start the recruiting process.
Yeah, and I know there's another volleyball player coming along in your family lineage too. Yeah. So
my daughter,
all the best. Listen, we've been there with you at practice. We've been there with you game day. I see the excitement in your eyes. Very cool to see, just man to man, homie to homie.
That, brother.
I'm very happy for you and the family and the boys, and I can't wait to hear the girls' commitment coming up soon.
Thank you.
Lions, Niners, Chiefs, Ravens. Do you want to look back to start? Do you want to look forward to start? I feel like there's a lot of different ways that we could. But was there a team that changed your opinion last week?
The Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah.
Yeah, just for the simple fact that, they were going to play the Buffalo Bills on the road. The first game, Patrick Mahomes on the road, in the playoffs, and they did exactly what they needed to do. They went inside out, as we talked about all season long. How does this offense operate? They work inside out through Travis Kelce, and then they hit the complementary players. Travis balled out. I don't know if he was playing possum or if he's just at that age right now where he's like, you know what, the regular season, I'm not tripping about putting up numbers. Everybody's like, well, Travis isn't really balling out. Is it the Taylor Swift effect? Is he getting a little bit slower? I remember he had a chance to go over 1,000 yards at the end of the season and decided not to go back in the game because they were winning. That right there told me that either he was so comfortable with where he was that he didn't care about another 1,000-yard season, or he was saving himself for the postseason. And it seems like he's saving himself for the right moments. Now, the key factor to this game was Isaiah Pacheco. When they met in week 14, Isaiah Pacheco didn't play that game. Mm-hmm. And I just feel like, I know we joke about how hard he runs, but he just adds a different level of intensity to this offense.
Yeah.
I would never call any team in the NFL finesse. I respect my brothers that play every Sunday too much. But these guys are they're like the Golden State Warriors without Draymond if they don't have Pacheco on the field. So having Pacheco just it just gives them the balance that they need. We know they can go deep, play inside out, they can hit the intermediate routes, but when they can hand off to a guy that runs as angry as Pacheco, it really is scary. So working backwards to now you have that same team on the road in Baltimore, Lamar Jackson, MVP most likely. It has to be the game of the year, right?
It feels like that. And I'm glad you started where you started, because we'll get to the quarterbacks and that's sexy and we understand it and a lot of people are drawn to it. But the Ravens defense is like legit. Like they just beat up CJ Stroud and the Texans, 175 yards passing, 38 rushing yards. The only TD they score is on special teams. Like the defense is special. Is this where, and you would know this way more than me because you've been there, is this where the Chiefs may be playing possum, maybe trying to get their young kids up to speed? You know, that experience now pays off, or do the struggles of this season catch up with them against the very best?
So this is how I look at this team. The Kansas City Chiefs, they revolve around everything Patrick Mahomes. And this is a healthy Patrick Mahomes. Remember last year he had that ankle and he was just kind of soldiering through the postseason. He doesn't have that same type of ailment. So whether it's him delivering the ball quick, getting out of his hands, which he will need to do against his defense, or throwing the ball downfield to his pass catchers, or just extending plays with his legs, this is what makes this offense go. On the flip side, to your point, this Baltimore Ravens team is old school. Their linebackers are fast as hell, if I can say that, excuse my language. These guys run sideline to sideline, north and south, as fast as anybody. And when they have a spy on you, that spy is going to get to you. The spy linebackers don't get lost in the sauce. You saw that a little bit the last couple of weeks up against the Chiefs. I just feel like this Ravens defense is going to be the biggest test of Patrick Mahomes' career. Other than that Super Bowl where he was a little banged up and that Tampa Bay defense was just ferocious.
Out of him,
I honestly believe that, yes, this is going to be the biggest test. As much as this is about Lamar and Lamar being efficient, taking care of the ball and running when he needs to, this game is going to be won on the defensive side of the ball. Eyes on Travis Kelce. Don't lose him like we saw last week. Spy on Patrick Mahomes. Send the blitz with intention to stay lane disciplined. That way, you don't give any windows for Mahomes to do what he does. And I do feel like this Baltimore defense, they have all that in check. I don't know. I mean, we kind of look at the game the same. This Baltimore defense looks hungrier than the other defense. Detroit is fantastic. We know what San Francisco is. The Chiefs defense might be the best side of football on their team, but Baltimore, they just look different. You know what I mean? The eye test.
I feel like they don't get the credit, and part of that is like, I mean, I went and did the numbers just so that I could make sure that I could rifle them off here. Number one in the NFL in scoring defense, led the NFL in sacks, tied for first in takeaways. Like that is the mark of a great defense, and I don't hear great defense enough when you talk about you hear it in San Francisco, right? The Detroit Lions have kind of elevated to the area, and we'll get into that matchup and where but it just feels to me like, listen, Kelsey's eaten for the last couple of weeks, but he's also faced two banged up defenses. The Bills had nobody left at linebacker. The week before there was some banged up,
and that's where they attacked. That's where they attacked. The Bills were weak in that interior, and the great game plan put together by the Chiefs offense was like, you know what? They're hurting in the secondary, in the linebacker area. Let's just send Travis out there and do what he does.
Right. The other part of this is the Ravens run game led the NFL, and the Chiefs run defense ranked 17th versus the run. Can a game plan be that simple?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, at this point, you have two ways of coaching, and I've seen it both ways. I've been in the postseason. The coaches, and this is the one that I lean to, what we do best, make them stop us. Don't adjust to what they do well.
Right.
Other coaches go in saying, all right, if I'm playing chess, then let me make a move before they make their move. That way we're going to go into this game with a game plan that isn't us, hopefully catches them off guard. I know that sounds convoluted, but that is literally how coaches trick themselves. Yes, they trick themselves out of position. And you're like, bro, this is what we've been doing all year. Let's not worry about them. They're also worried about stopping us. So let's stick with our game plan.
Yeah, I always think about that. Like, do impose your will. If they can stop it, good
Facts.
for them, man. Don't get beat on your changeup. Get beat on your fastball. Show them the
Mm,
heat. Do what you do
that's a
well.
fact.
So before we wrap this game, and I can't believe that we started the other way. I'm also kind of proud that we started the other way. But we have two quarterbacks here. First time in NFL history, two quarterbacks under the age of 30, both former MVPs meeting in the postseason. I might add, soon to be, you already mentioned it, two-time MVPs, because Lamar is going to win this year. Like, that's crazy that's the greatest since 1970, the three greatest winning percentages among quarterbacks are Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady, and Lamar Jackson. And we're getting two of them in a championship game.
That blows my mind.
Yeah.
Why do you feel like Lamar still is fighting resistance to embrace how good he is?
I
And,
don't
and,
know. I do know.
listen,
There's a litany of things. One of them,
yeah,
you and I talking as brothers from a different mother, we can understand
yeah,
that there is still, even though
there is.
yeah, there is still that,
There
and
is
the
still
idea of the
something.
running quarterback versus the dynamic quarterback versus my guy's just a quarterback. He's also just an MVP. But yes, yeah,
Yeah, and he's also at times the most athletic and dynamic player on the field.
yeah,
I think this is Lamar's opportunity to, I mean, just shut the world up, right?
yeah.
Like to really slam the door on all of these conversations. And it's so funny, man. We've been praising all of these QBs that haven't accomplished a fraction of what Lamar has, and then giving these young QBs who've been in the league the last few years all of this hype and saying that the ceiling is removed, the sky's the limit, they're going to be so good. I mean, just think about Lamar's draft. Baker Mayfield, #1.
Yeah.
Sam Darnold.
Yes.
And then you had Josh Allen. Okay, he's been doing his thing. And Josh Rosen. I mean, for whatever you want to say about those previous quarterbacks that were taken before Lamar, as it stands right now, soon to be second MVP. Now, AFC Championship appearance. The first time they've had this game at home in this spot of the postseason ever in team history.
Yeah.
And Lamar at this age, possibly going on to win a Super Bowl. Like, let's just embrace what it is. That is Lamar with a long line of quarterbacks that have come before him are now redefining what the quarterback position is. And I might say it will never look the same moving forward. And I don't mean that based on color. You're still going to have white quarterbacks, black quarterbacks, hopefully every other race, represented.
Josh Allen does the same thing. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yes.
My point exactly is that you might have a white quarterback, but I think the requirements moving forward are going to be, you just have to be dynamic just a bit. The days of a quarterback sitting in that pocket statuesque, I believe, are over. So we're going to see. This game is going to be as exciting as advertised, and I can't wait for it.
That's awesome. I'll give you one more stat just because I couldn't believe this one. And usually I come pretty correct. Highest rushing average per game, postseason history, minimum 5 games. Terrell Davis, work. John Riggins, legendary. Derrick Henry, understood. Eric Dickerson, Hall of Fame. You know who's 5th on that list?
I'll say anything crazy, man. I'm going to jump through this phone.
Lamar Jackson is 5th.
That's wild. That's
93.4 yards per game rush.
That's wild.
Yeah.
You know what's even crazier is that I think if Lamar wanted to run more, he could.
Yeah,
it's almost like he sits back and he's like, all right, I run when I need to. Of course, he wants to take care of his body, but he also takes exactly what the defense gives him. This isn't a guy that's like, oh, well, I'm going to run my way through this game and hopefully we'll get a victory. And if they make me throw it, I'll throw it a little bit. No, Lamar's like, bro, whatever this defense gives me, I'm going to show you that I can cook them. And a prime example of that has been the last 5 games. He has shown us everything. He could throw it deep, throw it short, kill zones, kill man. And if you allow me to, I'll beat you with my legs. I don't know what else you need from a starting quarterback in the NFL.
I will say those winning percentages, they get better for Mahomes in the postseason. So I'll throw that out there.
That's
as long as we're throwing out stats,
13-3
in the postseason. I do not want to disrespect that before I move on to the Detroit Lions. Okay. Going to San Francisco to take on the Niners.
Up, though? All right. What up, though, Detroit? What up?
All right. Am I insulting the rest of both teams by suggesting, listen, I think the Niners are a wonderfully talented team, especially on offense. I think Detroit, especially their run defense, very interesting. But am I oversimplifying to say that I think Deebo Samuel's health is huge and maybe even the difference in this game?
We are always on the same page. People
Really?
have been asking me for the last few days, what do you think? I know you love Detroit. That's your squad. How do you feel about this game? And my response has been, if Debo is banged up, I'm going with Detroit. There's hesitation before that. If there's a healthy Debo, I got to be honest. I'm going to look at the game logically, even though my heart says, yeah, let's go with Detroit. But a healthy Debo just makes it difficult. You have a healthy Debo, IU, McCaffrey, and then also Kittle. That group of guys makes Purdy's job so much easier. And Debo is Mr. Do It All. Those other guys are versatile. Debo's Mr. Do It All. Having him out there and he's 50, 60%, it's a different ball game. Because now, if let me break it down for you. If I'm a defender or if I'm a defense, and I know after the first drive, hey, yo, coach, Debo's just out there. Coach is like, what do you mean? No, I mean, he's just running around. Like, he doesn't want the ball. I ran up on him. You know, he's a little hesitant. He's not as physical as he used to be. He got up off the ground. He pushed himself up slow. He's playing decoy today. Now, coach says, all right, that changes my approach. I don't need to dedicate a bracket coverage or a guy over the top. I don't need to make sure I focus on Debo like I typically would. You can dedicate another guy to blitz Purdy, try to get him off his pivot, keep an eye on McCaffrey, maybe even double Ayuk in the red zone. I just feel like Debo out there at 50% and us knowing he's not healthy, that changes the way the defense will approach beating up on the 49ers. And I mean that with all due respect.
Here's why I think Debo's huge. And like Christian McCaffrey is to me the force multiplier on this team, where he took what was a good offense and made it great when he joined this team. He helps everybody else. But this season, no running back has rushed for more than 70 yards versus the Lions at all. Justin Fields ran for 104. So the Niners have had a 70-yard rusher in 13 of their 18 games. Here are the top running back numbers versus the Lions this year, Nate. Ty Chandler in week 18, Minnesota. What was that game for the Lions? 69 yards. Austin Eckler, 67 yards. Gus Edwards, 64 yards. Josh Jacobs, 61 yards. Alvin Kamara, 51 yards. Like, these are some really good running backs not able to put up numbers against this defense.
That says a lot about that Detroit Lions defense, because oftentimes we'll look at the highlights, we'll see Aiden Hutchinson coming off the edge, running just elbows and knees, trying to take out the quarterback. And then you think, oh, man, they just make quarterbacks uncomfortable. No, they suffocate running backs in this offense. And then on the flip side, they do what they do to you, what you were trying to do to them, which means they will run the ball. Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs, that 1-2 punch, we know Montgomery is nice in between the tackles and could break tackles. And if Gibbs gets on the sideline, forget about it. Yeah, no, you bring up a valid point about how this Detroit Lions defense can nullify what the 49ers do oh so well. And to your point, McCaffrey, it's not just about McCaffrey getting busy or McCaffrey getting yards or McCaffrey scoring touchdowns. Because when McCaffrey is playing well, that offense opens up. So if you suffocate the run game and you force them to be one-dimensional with a Deebo Samuel who's banged up as a defense, are you saying we just got to stop Kittle and then worry about Ayuk? That right there, that's a game changer defensively and how you approach this team.
All right, we're running out of time here, and I know that they might be going flight number 649 to New York City.
If that's the case, I'm gonna just hop on a flight to Toronto, man. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know if they fly OKC direct to Toronto, but Shea Gilgeous-Alexander wants it. I'll tell you that much. All right, so number one overall pick, Jared Goff, Mr. Irrelevant. You've been steadfast, Brock Purdy guy. Did he shut down the haters' ball with his game-winning drive against the Packers?
Yeah. Yeah, and, people say, well, he didn't play that well, and he had a couple of plays that got away from him. Phil Simms has been saying this to me for the last couple of years, and to be honest, it didn't really sink in until about a year ago. He said, I'm tired of people criticizing quarterbacks when they don't play perfectly. He said a quarterback will get a victory and they'll still criticize the way he played and say, well, I see you. There's weaknesses. And he said, we all have weaknesses. We all have flaws. Every position on the field has a chink in their armor. And I never looked at it like that because we're so caught up in criticizing to find what we can talk about on TV instead of just acknowledging in the moments that matter the most, this player did this. And Brock Purdy, aside from those 3 games early in the season where he had his little slide before the bye week,
Trent Williams,
Brock Purdy knows how to play big in the big moments. That dude got nerves of steel. And I got to add this in to bring it a little bit full circle. It just popped in my head. I didn't even know Brock Purdy had a little brother. And after my son signed in Nevada, they're grabbing a few guys out the portal, grabbing a few young pups. I get an alert on my phone. Chuba Purdy, who is Brock Purdy's little brother, signed to Nevada. So we got, hopefully, the next man up that's going to be out there delivering rocks in Nevada. So shout out to Chuba. I don't know what it is, but it's Brock Purdy's little brother.
That's awesome. All right, so full circle on it all. And listen, I think you and I both are cheering for the fans of Detroit. Like, you've seen that up close and personal.
Come on, Tim. They need this. Like, come on.
they do.
There's not a lot of teams. There's not a lot of teams that need it. I mean, think about the Pistons and what's going on there. Sheesh, Louise, and what this could do for the city. Yeah. I mean, they never been to the game, let alone have a chance to win it. You know what I'm saying? And then maybe Usher brings out Eminem. I don't know. Like, let's just speak this all into existence.
Yeah, I mean, the numbers are the Niners have 19 championship game appearances. They've gone to 3 in a row, and 4 of the last 5. The Lions are playing in their second ever.
Come on now.
Yeah, and that 3-game losing streak, I will say this, if we're going to go full circle on this bad boy, I said Trent Williams. I think he's an O-lineman. Everyone thinks it's not sexy, but Debo was also out for those 3 games that they lost. He played, I think, a couple snaps in the first game, and he was out. So we go full circle. Hey, one last one before I let you go. Are you more surprised that Jim Harbaugh is going to the Chargers or that Bill Belichick doesn't have a job right now?
That Bill Belichick doesn't have a job. Huh. You know, I thought that Harbaugh would stick around and stay at Michigan, but then I started thinking about the landscape of college football and where it's at, NIL deals in the transfer portal, and how hard it is to repeat, let alone just have a good season in college. So he was probably considering that. Now you have guaranteed money. You're back in the league. It makes sense. But Bill Belichick, man, I mean, I thought people would be beating down his door to have him run the show. Now there's only so many opportunities, and to be honest, I thought that Bill Belichick would have been a better fit with the Chargers. I just think Herbert matches Bill Belichick's demeanor, and they would have been a perfect match. So I am shocked. So we'll see what happens when it comes to Bill Belichick in the future. Maybe he just needs to take a break. Him and Nick Saban just go kick it, man. Go vibe out, man. You know what I mean? Have a little boys trip. Go to Cancun.
Would that be a good time, Nick Saban and Bill Belichick, or?
I feel like them dudes would lose their mind. They act cool in front of the camera, but I feel like they know how to party for real.
Oh, you think they kick back and it's just like,
oh, come on, man. Go. I bet you. I gotta ask you this though.
Cans against their head.
So tomorrow I'm flying back, to New York. I got work, but I'm going to be sitting down with Usher a couple of days from now. Okay. So, do you have any questions? What should I ask Usher? You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
I mean,
you're
Usher. Yeah, I mean, you're R&B lover. We around the same age, so
yeah.
What do you think I should ask him? I got my long list of questions that are CBS friendly, but
I like the distinction between CBS friendly and what you and I would just ask the dude. Do you rival Derek G? Never mind. No. The thing that jumps to my mind is what's the collab? Always is like because he's had some great collabs along the way. And Super Bowl, it feels like, is all about the collab. Like, what's his favorite collab along the way?
Okay, I like that. That's a good one. Favorite collab, and if there is one, I know he's collabed with everybody, but if there is a dream collab, what would it be?
That he hasn't been able to do.
Yeah,
I just typed in Usher collabs on my computer here, and it's everybody: Rick Ross,
The
Nicki
list is too
Minaj,
long.
Jadakiss, Young Jeezy, like his Little
Everybody.
John, of course. That's unbelievable how many he's worked with.
Yeah,
And now he's going to work with Nate Burleson. I
that's a
always
fact.
enjoy working with Nate Burleson.
Appreciate you, brother. So I'll see you next week.
Next week, or are we
Next
taking
week,
a
right?
week off?
Nah, let's talk, bro. I mean, we can talk Toronto Raptors if you want. I mean,
Yeah, we'll just talk ball.
even just talk ball.
Yeah, I'm down. I'm down. We're gonna have the Kevin and Nate Burleson podcast next week as we talk a little basketball, maybe get some inside information. Thank you, homie. Great catching up with you as always. Safe flight and get home safe.
Appreciate it, man.